Sports Snippets, Dennis Sullivan here. Saturday, it's the 30th of January. How are you doing? Getting ready for the big game, guys. Super Bowl 55. Here we go. It's coming on the 7th of February. Technically the first Sunday in the month of February between the Kansas City Chiefs and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Before I get started, guys, I want to talk about this matchup. It should be very exciting. If you do like the content of this particular video, if I have brought you some insight with this video, please do not hesitate. Go ahead and hit that like button. You can also subscribe to my channel, Sports Snippets with Dennis Sullivan. I also have a podcast as well under the same title. You can go check that out, Sports Snippets with Dennis Sullivan. So let's discuss this particular matchup, guys. This is a good one. This is one of the better Super Bowl matchups I think we've had in quite some time. And if I look back to the last, say, 20, 30 years or so, this is definitely one of the more intriguing matchups, no question about it. I mean, from everything from the main headline, which of course is the quarterback matchup, is a huge story in this one, to even other factors, like as I look a little bit deeper, and I'll go a little bit deeper in this video as well, and I'll even try to provide you with a little bit of insight on who I think is going to win. But when I say I'll even try to provide you, what I'm really trying to tell you guys is that this is not an easy one to just say, well, this team's going to win, that team's going to win. I mean, that's ridiculous just to say in this type of matchup, in my opinion, well, this team will definitely win for this reason. I mean, anyone can say that, right? But not easy to do when you talk about Super Bowl 55 and the Kansas City Chiefs against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yes, let me get this out of the way. I do have my old school Buccaneer hat, really for the sake of wearing it, guys. I mean, technically speaking, what I mean by that is, technically speaking, I am a Miami Dolphin fan, but I picked this one up just after it went out of use. In other words, right by the Buccaneers. In other words, right after they changed their uniforms, maybe a couple years later, I would see this hat and would pick it up at a local store. So, and I've saved it, of course, for, I don't know, in my closet. So I figured let's break it out for the video. So here we go, guys. Let's talk a little more detail here. Now, heading into this game, what's the big storyline of Super Bowl 55? Of course, it's the Super Bowl matchup. It's the best quarterback right now, who clearly is Patrick Mahomes. No questions asked on that. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL these last few years. He is clearly the best quarterback in the NFL. As we start this calendar year of 2021, he will still be the best quarterback in the NFL as next season starts in regular season, that is September of 2021. So it matches the best quarterback of right now in Patrick Mahomes, great player, against the best quarterback of all time in Tom Brady, who, oh, by the way, still happens to probably be one of the best, 5 or 6 in the league anyway, if you want to break it down right now in 2021. The fact that sometimes I hear, Brady's, on social media, Tom Brady's the greatest of all time, or you see the initials GOAT, greatest of all time. And that's cool. I mean, yeah, you can go ahead and go on an app or in a message board and say that. I'm not going to disagree with that, but here's what I'm going to add to a comment of Tom Brady being the greatest of all time. This, to me, as a sports fan, has been the case for now a couple of years, guys. There is no more icing on the cake. The icing on the cake part, that took place, in my opinion, when the Patriots beat the Falcons a couple of years ago in that Super Bowl, wherein Patriots came back from, I don't know, what was it, like 25 points down or something ridiculous in the second half and won that Super Bowl. That was definitely, in my opinion, the icing on the cake. There's no more icing on the cake. The Buccaneers could lose this game 51-3. And Tom Brady is still the greatest quarterback of all time based on what he has accomplished in his career, guys. And I will tell you this, as a season ticket holder of 4 seasons for the Miami Dolphins, 2002 through 2005, what I refer to as the Ricky Williams era, which was great. I loved watching Ricky Williams play. He was something else. I remember I was one of the first to say, mainly to myself, but as I would sit there in section 432, by the way, as I was in my 4 years as a season ticket holder for the Dolphins, and I would sit there, got to watch Tom Brady, a younger Tom Brady back then, play, and I would say to myself, this guy's good. I mean, he got that Super Bowl win versus the Rams. I'll never forget when this would be the 2002 season, right? This was 19 years ago. And Tom Brady just won his first Super Bowl, and I remember saying to myself, when the Patriots came in to play the Dolphins, it was a 1 o'clock game on a Sunday. I remember it was probably October, I think, September, October. It was very warm outside. They were putting on those dark bluish jerseys they have. And I said to myself, Patriots are going to lose this game. It's about 87 degrees. It's very humid. Brady's good. I mean, this young guy, whatever, Tom Brady, who started only because Drew Bledsoe got hurt and all this stuff, is a good game manager. They got through with Brady to beat the Rams. That was a great upset. And what did I see? I saw almost a different version of Tom Brady out of the gate in this game, throwing sideline passes, things I wasn't quite seeing in the Super Bowl win against the Rams. So, guys, he proved me wrong then in 2002, and he wound up proving me wrong pretty much year after year after year. So when I tell you that Tom Brady, in my opinion, is the greatest quarterback of all time, hands down, there is no more icing on the cake. We've done all the icing on the cake part. I say that with a little bit of almost frustration because I spent many years saying that he'll never be great for whatever reason and was proven wrong. It's really that simple, guys. He is the greatest quarterback of all time. You don't just play in 10 Super Bowls, 14 conference championships, now on the verge of possibly winning his 7th Super Bowl, Tom Brady. You don't just do that because you're one of the greatest of all time. No. You are the greatest of all time if you're able, and in the process putting up outstanding statistics as well. So leave me some comments below on that part, guys, on that part. And I'll never forget that, though. A younger Brady coming out, I'm like, whoa, where did all this come from? Where did these 25-yard sideline completions come from? Where did these fly pattern completions of 30 yards down the field come from? He worked on his game year after year, month after month, and he got to the point where he was some player, guys. And I tell you what, so let's get into a little bit as I move right along, a little bit of a breakdown here as we go in. Now the Chiefs, who I really think, if you look top to bottom, this really is overall probably, this is the best team in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes, 325 yards in the AFC Championship, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. You almost overlook that. We're so used to that from Patrick Mahomes. The guy is just like a machine at the quarterback position. He's almost unhuman the way he just puts up numbers, wins games, produces out on the field. The running game for the Chiefs in that win over the Bills, 38-24, was it was pretty good. I mean, Darrell Williams had 52 yards on the ground, 13 carries. McCole Hardman had the 50-yard run. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire, coming back from injury, wasn't quite himself. 6 carries, 7 yards. He did have a touchdown run. The big player, guys, well, there's really two big receivers for the Chiefs, hands down. Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. Let's talk about that for a second. Tyreek Hill, right now, guys, as we enter into the year 2021, he is the big game receiver in the NFL. This guy is putting up monster numbers, having monster performances out there. every time I look up, it's like he's running with the ball, like across the field, looking for his blockers, because he's getting so many yards after the catch. He's doing like across the grain type of runs, because he's already open on the sidelines, now trying to turn a 20-yard gain into a 50-yard gain. He would finish the AFC Championship game 9 catches for 172 yards. He's something at like over 280 yards receiving in 2 playoff games. Ridiculous. Travis Kelce, 13 catches, 118 yards, 2 touchdowns. Another monster performance from who I believe is the best receiving tight end of, I'm going to say, if not all time, he's in the top 3. This guy is phenomenal. He is the best receiving tight end today. No question asked on that one. No questions asked. Of all time, you can now put him in the conversation already. Kelce was targeted 15 times in the AFC Championship game. Tyreek Hill was targeted 11 times. That's 26 targets between those 2 players. The rest of the receivers, they're good, but they simply don't get the volume because it's all Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, and who can blame them? Byron Pringle would have 3 catches, 22 yards. Williams out of the backfield, a catch for 9 yards. Hardman, 2 catches, 4 yards. So if there's anything maybe the Buccaneers could exploit, it might be, hey, let's take either Tyreek Hill or Travis Kelce. I don't know if you're going to take them out of the game. You're not going to, I don't know, they're performing so well, but maybe limit their effectiveness. That might be an angle right there. But both those players are on a serious roll, guys. Brady in the NFC Championship, the 31-26 win over the Green Bay Packers. 280 yards throwing, 3 touchdown passes. He did have the 3 interceptions. He was turning into this guy that I didn't recognize as Tom Brady for a while there in the second half. Mainly because I think the cold, I really think this, guys, it's not going to be a factor in the Super Bowl being played in Tampa. I really think the cold, and I've even heard Tom Brady himself say this, kind of affects him now. After years of playing with the Patriots, he has now adapted to the warmer temperatures of Florida, West Central Florida, Tampa. And I really do think he had a little bit of trouble there with the cold in the second half of that NFC title game. Leonard Fournette, 12 carries, 55 yards and a touchdown. Ronald Jones, 10 carries, 16 yards. I'll say this, guys. Leonard Fournette, tough inside runner. Ronald Jones coming back from the injury, still good runner. I give advantage Bucs in the running game. I think Fournette has 80 to 100 yard abilities and capabilities. He could be, along with Ronald Jones combined, the deciding factor in this game. If the Bucs keep this close and possibly even pull out a win, they can run the football, guys. Then you have 2 of the better receivers in the league, arguably the best tandem of receivers, wide receivers, in Chris Godwin, and Mike Evans. Godwin would have 110 yards receiving on 5 catches. Evans, 3 catches, 51 yards, a touchdown in the NFC Championship game. Scotty Miller had that awesome touchdown reception to close out the first half. He finished 2 catches, 36 yards, a touchdown. Rob Gronkowski, only 1 target, 1 reception, but it was for 29 yards on that tight end screen play they ran, which worked awesome. Cameron Brate now is being used more as well, especially in the red zone. 3 catches, 19 yards, a touchdown. Fournette had 5 catches, 19 yards out of the backfield. Tyler Johnson, a catch for 16 yards. I'm going to say this, though. The Bucs, here's where the Bucs could make a difference, though. The running game's going to be key for Tampa. They can get that running game going. I really think they could win this game. Because if you look at it, we look at the skill positions. The only team that can really match up with the Chiefs, there's only a few teams. Tampa is one of those teams. You have Godwin, you have Evans, Antonio Brown factoring in, possibly. And the 2 running backs. And, of course, you have Cameron Brate. You have Gronkowski. I'll tell you what, Rob Gronkowski could be a factor. They get him a couple of targets. Brate's a nice receiving tight end. The Buccaneers have a chance to win this game, guys. I'm going to say this. Something's telling me. Now, if I had to pick a winner of this game, that's tough because I have the most respect for the Kansas City Chiefs. I really do. I think Patrick Mahomes is a phenomenal player. I think, I'll tell you right now, not just Kelsey, Tyreek Hill. If you're gonna ask me who's the number one big game receiver last couple of years NFL, pick one guy. I'm not gonna even hesitate. Tyreek Hill, big game receiver, boom, there's your guy right there. But something is telling me that this game will not be played in the 40s or maybe even the 30s. Something's telling me this will be one of those average type scoring games, like a 24-21, 27-24 type game. That's just my vibe. Maybe even 24-20 or something like that. And something's telling me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because of not just the running game, the defense, guys, the defense of Tampa has been, were they spectacular against Green Bay? No. But they played well enough to win. They played pretty well in the postseason. Chiefs have a pretty good defense too. I like the fact that the Buccaneers are very good against the run. They seem to do a pretty good job against Devontae Adams in that NFC Championship game. They had a few flaws there too, which we saw. I like the Bucs by a hair in this one, guys. By a hair. Are the Chiefs a better team? They probably are, but something is telling me the Bucs are going to pull this out. Let me know what you think. Sports Snippets with Dennis Sullivan. Super Bowl 55 coming up Sunday, the 7th of February. Catch my podcast. I'll be on there, if not Saturday, Sunday, as we close out January. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.